Hi, I'm Kathy Angeron, and I'm with Brevard Cultural Alliance. Brevard Cultural Alliance is the designated local arts agency for all of Brevard County. We serve cultural organizations, artists, and do arts education programming for students in Brevard public schools, among lots of other things. And I am so excited to welcome you back today for the final episode of Season 2 of True Colors. With True Colors as a platform, Brevard Cultural Alliance is so proud to provide new and known voices from Brevard's cultural community, a place to share their stories and artistic journeys. We thank you so much for joining us today. And just a quick reminder that all of our episodes are available on both our Facebook and YouTube channels. And now, live from the studios of Rock Paper Simple in Melbourne, it is an honor to introduce the host of True Colors, CEO and owner of Diversity of Thought, the incomparable David Jones.
Yeah, you can bring us in. Hey, Kathy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, can you hear us okay?
Yep.
Awesome. Hi, so Kathy, again, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for Brevard Cultural Alliance. This season has been absolutely fantastic. And we've had a really good time, right?
We have.
Okay, well, we're going to send you back into the studio and we'll get the show going. And this is so much fun. I have a producer today. I usually happen to do both, so this is kind of awesome. So my name is David Jones. I'm with Diversity of Thought. I am lucky enough to continue to host this program, True Colors. This is our final episode of the season, and we could not think of a better way of ending this season. So typically what we do is we interview artists who aren't as known yet, maybe around Brevard County, and try to highlight their talent so that they can be seen by everybody and everybody can experience them. But that's not this individual. This individual is known. But there's a reason why we brought him on, because the way we try to highlight artists to help them get themselves out there, this man has been doing that for these individuals for years. And I'm so thankful and happy to have him on. So ladies and gentlemen, the amazing, Tony Wynn. Tony, how you doing? Good. Tony.
Yes.
You've been at this for a little while. Yeah?
Little while.
Okay, so how long have you been playing here in Brevard?
I've been playing in Brevard since the mid to late 80s.
Since the mid to late 80s?
Yes.
What are you eating?
What
are you eating or what are you drinking? So you started playing when you were 5?
No, I started playing when I was 19. By accident.
Okay.
By accident.
How do you start playing by accident?
Well, originally, my younger brother took up clarinet, through my father, and he lost interest in it. And I borrowed it, took it back to college with me.
Okay.
And he showed me where to put my fingers and everything. And I used to just play along with, different records and stuff like that, So it was by accident, because my brother put it down, I picked it up.
Okay. Well, I don't know, it's weird to say this, but I'm really happy you put it down. You picked it up, man. You picked it up and you ran with it.
Yes.
It's been absolutely amazing. So time out. Before I ask you, I want to ask you some of your inspirations. Before I go there, I do want to ask you a question. What instruments do you play?
I play all the saxophones, alto, tenor, soprano, and as well as flute. I play a little bit of piano, percussion.
Okay.
A little bit of guitar.
Okay. So I just learned this, and so this is new information. I also know that I've learned now that there's another art form that you've mastered as well. So I believe in karate.
Yes.
Yes. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. I was an Air Force brat.
Okay.
In other words, my dad, we moved around a lot, and I was always the new kid in the school. I always got picked on, So I was encouraged by my older brother to take karate, so I started taking karate. This was right before Bruce Lee came out.
Okay. You are dating yourself, man. He doesn't. Like, that doesn't seem possible. Like,
I'll be 67 in July.
oh my goodness gracious! Again, so after this,
I'm long in the tooth, as they call it.
after this, we're gonna have a Tony Wynn. This is what I eat. This is what I drink segment, so that we can all look this good. Because I promise you, nobody was guessing that right there.
Right. Well, I used to be ashamed of it, but to me now I know it's a blessing. Because I've lost a lot of friends and family members, so I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad that you are here. So amazing saxophonist, karate state champion.
Yes, from dating myself, from 1973 to 1976.
Okay. If I wanted to ask you to get up, I'm just joking. We actually got some pieces of wood we're gonna have you play right now. No. Just surprise. That's cool. So back to music. Who are some of your inspirations?
Well, as a young child, we lived in England for about 6.5 years. And when we went to England, my dad took all his jazz albums. So that's all I heard. That's the only type of music I thought existed. So he would play all the stuff like John Coltrane, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis. So this is stuff that I just absorbed, and I got familiar with a couple of saxophone players that my dad says I sound like Stanley Turrentine. My dad used to play a lot of Stanley Turrentine.
Okay.
People probably aren't familiar with these people, but they were like the bebop era type guys.
Okay.
So I've been influenced by trumpet players, bass players, Charles Mingus, John Coltrane, Dave Brubeck, piano player. So I absorbed all this thing. Funny story. I was about maybe 5 years old, and my dad would play. Back in those days, they call it a hi-fi. So he would play jazz every Sunday afternoon. So he had all his albums sitting up, and I would take the album, and I would look at the album, and I would try to relate the music to the graphics. There was an organist named Jimmy Smith. He played an album called The Cat. So I would sit there, I would listen to the whole album trying to see if I could hear a cat. So in essence, what this did, it taught me how to listen to the different instruments, the music, the arrangements. So at a very young age, I absorbed that jazz feel. And then eventually when I picked up an instrument, I basically played what I heard and what I felt. And I became an artist because of looking at these album covers.
So I also learned that about you before we came on, because I didn't know that you were also an artist. What type of
Fine artist. I got a scholarship to Teachers College in Buffalo. I was going to be an art teacher.
Okay.
But my paths kind of changed, and I ended up doing something else. Because I would do paintings, and when it came time to sell them, I couldn't let them go. So I said, my dad said, "You're going to starve."
You're like, "I love this soda. Can we buy it?" No, this is no, I get it. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad your path did steer.
Yes.
I brought you here to Brevard County. You have been doing amazing things here at Brevard County.
Thank you.
Not just for yourself, but for other artists as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started doing this gig, I didn't know how rich our county was with talent.
Absolutely.
You can assume, but when you get in there, I'm like, wow, there's some amazing people around here. And I got to tell you, what's so fascinating is the amount of people who I have met that said, oh, that have a Tony Wynn story.
Really?
They were like, "Oh, Tony helped me here. Oh man, Tony's great. He helped me do this. He helped me do that." And oddly enough, there was somebody who wanted to be here, but they couldn't be here. So Kristen Warren and the band Creek was gonna try to
Yes.
be here.
Yes.
But what I appreciate is she's like, I can't be there, but I'm gonna send in a video. So we're actually gonna play this video of Kristen, who wish she could be here, but she couldn't because she has another gig that popped up. So, producer, if you can go ahead and roll the video.
Hi, my name is Kristen Warren. I'm a jazz singer from Melbourne, Florida. I've been playing in this amazing community since 2008. On my journey playing gigs in the area, I've had the honor and privilege of meeting a lot of fantastic artists. And one of those fantastic artists is the great Tony Wynn. I feel like he and I met a long time before we actually played together, but our first time playing together, to my memory, was at the Blind Lion in Cocoa Village. Tony has always been extremely encouraging and kind, and he is such a joy to work with on stage. He has such amazing showmanship, and I always wish that I had his showmanship. He will get off the stage and he will play the saxophone right there in your face. And he just gets the crowd so engaged and so excited. And I have always been inspired by his ability to move the crowd. One highlight of working with Tony Wynn is also his ability to create an entirely new song on the spot. So he'll tell the bass player to play one thing, guitarist to play something else. He'll tell me to scat. He'll do something on the saxophone. Next thing you know, we have a whole different song, whole brand new song. And the audience is always very impressed with it. But what he doesn't know is that the musicians are really impressed with it too. We love Tony Wynn. He is such a light in our community. He's just a fantastic, God-fearing man. He always has a positive message, and I've never heard him speak poorly of anyone. He is just a sweet, wonderful person. He has always helped me and others to find opportunities and to find more shows and to work and to get paid. And so we just love you, Tony. Please keep shining, keep being you. We are grateful for you. I was supposed to sing a song with the band, but unfortunately I couldn't make that happen. So I will dedicate this song, L-O-V-E, because we L-O-V-E-Y-O-U-T-O-N-Y-W-Y-N-N. I probably didn't need to spell all of that, but I was on a roll. So here we go. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is for very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore and love. Is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, please don't break it. Love was made for me and you and the rest of our Canada because we love you, Tony. Love was made for me and you. We love you, Tony Wynn. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you later.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Her voice, man.
Oh, unique voice.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about music, and I try to tell musicians, don't try to play like someone else. You can borrow some things, but develop your own voice. Because I remember when I first started playing, I told my dad, I said, Dad, I don't sound like other saxophone players. He says, you don't want to. You want to develop your own voice. So it took a lot of courage for me to accept what I was doing and how I was doing it. And the fact that I had a day job made it a lot easier. Because if people didn't like what I did, I still had a means of keeping the roof over my head.
Well, yeah, there's no starving artists over here.
No.
Okay. And but that's amazing because I think that there's this trope that like if you're going to be successful, you got to go through this starving artist phase, and it's like, no, you just got to stick with it, be passionate, but make sure you can eat. Nobody should be starving.
Exactly. And I used to feel guilty because I was getting a lot of gigs, and it wasn't my main occupation. And other people, that was their main occupation. They went to school for it, and I felt so guilty. So that's why when I find opportunities, I always pass them on. Because I can't play everywhere, and I can't do all the gigs. So I'll call somebody up, and I says, hey, man, could you take this gig for me? Many times I'm able to do it, but I'd rather just pass it on to somebody else.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, the stories, the Tony Wynn stories are like, wow, like this is amazing. Your brand here is fantastic.
Wow.
It's
I got a brand?
You got a brand. And it's one of giving. I think would probably be the best way of putting it. It's this guy is willing to help and give. Sometimes I've heard that exactly. This guy, he could have done it, but he gave me the gig because he wanted to help me out. I think that's amazing and brilliant. And thank you, Christian Warren, for singing the song. And again, just because we are live, I want to give a shout out to Rock Paper Simple Studios. We appreciate this opportunity because it's absolutely fantastic. And another shout out, of course, to Brevard Cultural Alliance for continuing to do this. Tony, we heard her sing this song for you, and I've heard about your inspiration. So I'm just curious, do you have a go-to? Like, what's your favorite song that you like to play?
There's a song called Stolen Moments. And my dad used to play that all the time when I was a kid growing up. And I never knew what the title meant, but I felt the song. And I just mentioned his name a while ago. It just slipped my mind. But I learned that titles mean something.
Okay.
I did 2 CDs. And every song, the title meant something. Like on my first CD, there's a song called Quiet Time. I came up with this song after I was going through a tumultuous period of my life. And I just got quiet. I removed all the distractions in my life, all the conflict, and it was just quiet. And I did a song called Quiet Time. So every song that I created, the title actually means something. And I see now a lot of times people aren't doing that.
Purpose, man. Purpose matters. I love it when things have a purpose for why they exist.
Right.
It's great to hear you say that. It's funny. I teach that in the business world.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. Like your organization should have a purpose beyond making money. Like
Yes.
making money is an outcome.
Absolutely.
But your purpose is to, like, I look at you. Your purpose isn't to make money. If it was, you wouldn't be giving up gigs. Your purpose that I've seen and what I've heard from other people is, how do I grace this area that I'm in, wherever that area is, with beautiful, amazing music that moves people in some way, passion.
Keep it alive.
And one of the outcomes is you get paid.
Yes.
But it's not the intent of going after it, because if it was, you'd be hoarding all the gigs and you'd be saying, nah, I'm not helping anybody.
Well, see, I used to play in Orlando quite a bit, and there wasn't really, per se, jazz scene here. And there's lots of opportunities in Orlando for musicians. At the time there was, with Disney and things like that. But there was nothing over here. And a friend of mine opened up a club called Big Daddy Dave's Jazz and Blues Club. And that's where I got my start.
I just love the title of the Big Daddy Dave Jazz.
And he was big. He was big.
So it wasn't an ironic thing.
No,
it wasn't like me showing up like, I'm Big Daddy Dave. No.
Dave was a big guy. He was a big, robust guy. And so I realized there was a need for that here. Not that there's anything wrong with rock and country and stuff like that, but there wasn't really a jazz scene here.
Yeah.
And I've been told that I elevated the jazz scene, but that was not my purpose. My purpose was to play in Brevard County and not have to drive to Orlando.
It's like, man, you really lifted up the scene. It's like, bro, gas is expensive. Not like it is now, but
I know there was a lot more opportunity, and they, my opinion is, they tend to embrace the music here, that form of music, because in Brevard County, you have people that are from everywhere due to the Space Center. And I remember I was playing downtown Titusville, and this guy came up to me and says, "Oh man, I didn't know they had music like that down here." I said, "Where are you from?" He says, "Oh man, I'm from DC."
yeah.
And they were just shocked,
Yeah.
you know. So the fact that we have influences from people coming from all around, it's not just the beaches, it's not just the Space Center. We have a music culture here.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We have a music culture here.
And we are going to work hard to make sure that one of the things that Brevard County is known for, we are the Space Coast, yes.
Yes.
But we have just such a phenomenal music scene here. And every genre of music, it's here, and it's amazing here. Like a lot of places could say it's there, but it's not as good as it is here.
No,
it is. There's so much talent here. I'm happy that Brevard Cultural Alliance gives us opportunities like this to highlight it.
yes.
And I'm happy that you continue to do your thing, man. You really uplift and elevate not just yourself, but artists around the county. It's amazing what you do. I do have one more question for you. So you get to pick it. They could be alive, they could be past, but like if you got to play with somebody, just like, oh man, if I really got a chance to play with somebody, who would that person be?
I thought about that, you know, and there's so many, you know, incredible musicians that past and present. The guy that I would like to play with is the one that pointed me in the direction of my sound. A lot of people might not know of him, but he was one of the first smooth jazz musicians back in the 70s. His name is John Clemmer. And the sound that his horn made, it was like it sang. So I do sing, but not very often. I prefer to have a horn in my mouth. But I try to sing through my instrument. And that's where my ideas come from. Because my dad says, if you can sing it, you should be able to play it.
I like that. You know, I think my first real where I fell in love with jazz was Miles.
Miles.
And I remember hearing a song and I said, I feel like the trumpet is telling a story.
Yes.
And depending on who's listening to it, depends on how they're going to view the story.
Right.
One person might have thought it was melancholy. One person might have thought it was beautiful. But it was amazing. And that's when I started noticing that there were artists who were just different.
Yes.
They can make you feel like they're talking to you through their instrument.
Absolutely.
And I've seen you do that, which has been phenomenal. I've been a fan for a while.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. Like so.
I thought I was incognito.
No, man. So it's funny because I remember speaking of this person, because we talked about who you would play with. I do want to bring somebody out, and I'm going to tell this story now. I want him to talk. But we have Carl Lewis here in the studio as well. If we get Carl to come out here, I would love that. And Carl, if you bring a chair over here.
Oh, bring a chair.
Yeah, man, you can sit down right over here.
Carl Lewis.
Carl Lewis in the house. Okay, there we go. I like it. You're going to come down here with us.
Of course.
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Thank you for having me out.
Yeah. Carl. You know I have
You
to,
have
man.
to say it.
Every time, this is The Walking Dead, I can't help it. They ruin your name for me.
Yes.
I was like, Carl! I remember talking to Carl, and he's just like, yeah, I get Tony. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan. My folks were fans.
Wow.
Multi-generational.
Yes,
Wow.
like just all the way through. But I did want to bring Carl out because Carl, I know that you have. I'm sure you have plenty of Tony Wynn stories. But you can give us a Tony Wynn story.
Uh-oh.
Oh man. So
Like PG.
they're all people.
I'm a PG.
This outstanding gentleman. I mean, I could talk about the fact that his band, which also includes Cameron Brown,
Yes.
has played and backed Isaac Hayes when they came to Orlando.
Right.
When somebody else wasn't holding up the line plumb, he came in and picked up the slack and was noted for it. I could talk about the fact that Tony Wynn is an accomplished martial artist in the state of New York.
Not anymore. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I could talk about the fact that he always gives out to other artists and not only gives in like, oh yeah, you can have the gig, but yo, this is how you do the gig. This is how you get the gig. This is how you keep the prices respectable for other musicians, which is important because he has a day job.
Yes.
So day job people could economically come in and say, well, I have a day job, I'll do this for pennies on the dollar.
Right.
And then I'll just collect everything. He doesn't do that. Yeah. He says, let's make it economical for all musicians to live and work and do what they need to do.
Pay your musicians.
Yes.
well, not only for the fact that I'm blessed to do this full time because people like him pay the way. But not only that, it's like, okay, somebody else said, oh, well, you got to do this here. Well, I have to charge this because labor and equipment, and yes, your place should sound like this, and yes, the level of music needs to be this high. Yes. And now we can pull in so much more for the experience for the people.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you keep prices down low, I cannot.
No, survive.
I can't do what I need to do to make a show a show. Yeah. To make it really stand out to somebody. Tony Wynn got me involved with the Halls for the Silky Smooth Band, which is a corporate band and then a wedding band. Best thing he ever did for me, which is one of my favorite things, he told the rock band Foreigner, I want to know what love is. Yeah. They called him. They're like, I heard you were the man. He was like, call Carl. I'm busy. I can't back now because he has something better to do, but he could not back out. He could not back out from his previous.
Right.
And he's not the kind of guy to be like, oh, well, the rock band calls, so I'm just gonna. They said, call Carl. He's a very capable cat. Yeah. I was in Birmingham at the time. They called me anyway. And they were like, yes, I was in Birmingham getting on tour, and I was like, oh, yes, I can play with you. Can I play that song? I don't know. And so I'm like learning it, trying to fit the saxophone into the vehicle. And my buddy's driving down the highway. I'm like, hey, Tony called me for the gig. We're going to do the gig, man. And it was a great experience. Wow. And it really put me somewhere else because I kind of came on the scene as rock saxophonist, kind of an aggressive, like more 80s. When rock sax was the thing.
Jumping off the tables and backflipping with the saxophone. What?
Told you that story. and you're putting 100 on 10, but there is something to what he said. Right. So yeah, Tony made all that happen and kind of gave me the go ahead and gives me his blessing. And I'm a sax player. It could be a competitive situation, but it's not. No. It's never has been. And then sometimes we get to be in the same place at the same time. Then we get to be a jam session. And it's like, you should try this jam session over here. The other side of town. You don't have to go to Orlando. They're doing it here.
Right. I've seen that, man. And I think that's one of the just the beautiful aspects of, like I said, who you are and who you are. Where I've seen you both work, and I've never seen it not be anything but love.
Yes.
And I'm like, y'all do the same thing. And it's hard for some people to kind of get past that because again, it's like, hey, I'm trying to eat, but then the way I see it is, it's like there's enough food for everybody.
There's enough.
Why would I hoard
What is
all
for
the food
you
over
is
here?
for you.
Yes.
What is for you is for you.
Yeah,
Your dad was wise. He gave you some.
My
great
dad gave me some great. Like as far as taking gigs that don't pay well, my dad used to quote the Bible. He says, "A workman is worth his hire." And then he would also say, "Never put yourself in a situation where you can't say no."
Woo.
See, I had a day job. I worked at the Space Center for 32 years. I did not have to play music.
Okay.
But it was my passion. And I segued into that after I left the Space Center. But I realized guys were underbidding. And when that really happened was when Disney pushed a lot of the bands out.
They do that kind of as a turnover thing.
Yeah.
Regularly. It's a business practice.
And then these musicians have families.
Yeah.
So they would go and underbid.
Yep.
Because they had to pay those bills. It brought the price down. That's another reason I stopped playing in Orlando. Because they want you to play all day for $50. So I'm like, I'm not even leaving the house for that.
Nor should you be.
It was a crazy time. When I got here, it was right after the 90s, like the early 2000s.
Okay, yeah.
And so you had just started playing. He pioneered playing the tracks.
Yeah.
With a cassette tape.
I started with a cassette. And I went to the little iPad, and I went to the Walkman, the little CD Walkman.
Yeah.
Nobody showed me nothing, but I knew if I had to get the music out there, I had to find a way.
Because they didn't have a band every time.
Because
people wouldn't pay for the band
They
every
wouldn't
time.
pay for the band. So they used to call me the karaoke sax player. But now everybody's using tracks.
Yeah. So say thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Keep the music live.
I will keep.
Because I'm not going to be doing this for much longer.
He says that.
Listen, the way you look now, you're like Pharrell, man. You're a vampire.
But
You just don't.
when I get up in the morning, I feel every bit of my 60s.
Well, you look amazing.
Thank you.
You are amazing. We cannot thank you enough for what you do for the music scene, what you do for Brevard County. And we look forward to many more years
Yes.
of you blessing us. But I think that maybe we should go ahead and bless us today with a nice little jam session. You guys up for that?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Let's hook that up. I'll tell you what. You don't need these. We're gonna move this out the way. Get the other that came underneath. That's good.
You want to do that slow moments?
You can. All right, so we're gonna have a jam session. So I hope you are ready. Make sure you leave comments, let us know that you're here. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get this going. We're gonna listen to the amazing Tony Wynn, the fastest man on sax, Carl Lewis. Wait.
I'll just go quick lead in.
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Should go.
Wrong song.
mean, you know,
Play
it's.
something I know how to play.
Hey, Train, cool, man.
Wait, before we do that, can I just come up here and say,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
give it up one more time for Tony Wynn and Carl Lewis. Okay, so we are going to get one more song in, but I do want to say thank you so much, Brevard Cultural Alliance, for continuing this program, True Colors, where we will highlight artists from around Brevard County. We are going to be back for season 3. We're working on that now. I want to say thank you to Rock Paper Simple for allowing us to be in here and gracious with this amazing studio. This has been absolutely fantastic. And I'm telling you now, like if you're looking for a company to work with, Rock Paper Simple gets no better. I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Star Wars fan. And thank you, Lee Brevard, because this is how this whole program got started. So thank you very much. And we do want to give a shout out June 18th. There is going to be the Juneteenth Festival. So if you do want to see Christian Lauren and the Band Creek and Tiffany Joy, who we've had on this program, they will be performing live. Juneteenth is June 18th. You can check it out on Facebook. You can look at my Facebook page and you can find information there. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We're going to get one more jam session in. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Mr. Carl Lewis and the amazing Tony Wynn. That was cool.
That was good.